Okay, so we'll go ahead and get things started. Good morning or afternoon, depending on where you're tuning in. My name is Vince, and I just want to welcome you to this Best of the Best webinar series brought to you by Novedge, the design software superstore. I want to thank all of you for joining us. We're excited not only to present Bluebeam PDF review, but to have James Chambers going over PDF with a PDF review with us. Excuse me. Just a little background on James. He's responsible for managing, developing, and presenting Bluebeam product demonstrations and training to individual clients and audiences. Prior to Bluebeam, James was the product technology engineer at Vanasse Hangen Brustlin and the software support engineer analyst at Softech Adra Systems. He has a Bachelor of Arts in 3D design with apparel engineering from Sheffield Hallam University. James is going to speak for about the next 40 minutes or so. During that time, everyone will be in listen-only mode, but please feel free to send your questions into the question box. Afterwards, we'll have a Q&A to wrap things up. We will be recording this webinar, and it will be made available to you guys. I'll give you details after the webinar on where to find it and how to access it. Before we get into things, I just want to throw things over to our Bluebeam representative here at Novedge, Bob Thayer. I don't know, Bob, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me, Vince?
Yeah, I think, we'll just let you go for a little bit here.
Yeah, I just wanted to say a quick hello to everyone attending the webinar, and I'd like to thank James Chambers for presenting. I handle all the Bluebeam orders here at Novedge, and you can also purchase your upgrades and maintenance from us as well. So you can always email me at bob@novedge.com. And then at the request of our president of Novedge, and that's Franco Fellini, he asked if I'd lighten the mood a little bit, so I just wanted to throw a little Bluebeam humor your way. And so two Bluebeam seats walk into a bar. One says to the other, he says, "Hey, buy me a drink." And the Bluebeam seat says, "Well, what do I look like, a cash machine? I'm a converter." Okay, I got a laugh out of Franco over there. So my goal has been complete, and I now want to turn it back over to Vince. And I want to thank James Chambers again for presenting, and I look forward to seeing the webinar. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Bob. That was interesting to say the least. James, are you there? I think we'll go ahead and turn it over to you and get this thing started.
I am. I don't quite know how to follow that, to be honest with you. But,
Yeah, sorry, it's tough, but I think you can manage. I'm gonna switch the screen over to you and let you take it from here.
sounds great. Thanks so much. All right. Well, hopefully everybody can see my screen.
Yeah, there, looks great.
All right. Perfect. Well, again, I appreciate everybody coming here, no matter where you're from. I appreciate your time. What I want to do is present a little bit about Bluebeam. We are Bluebeam PDF Review. There's a couple of little different things that make Bluebeam different. I want to discuss some of the things that make us a little bit unique and different from other PDF applications out there. And we're really going to be touching on all four of these types of unique characteristics as we go through this webinar. We have a very intuitive interface. As you're going to see, we have the ability to display tabs, multi-view, and actually do things like split the screen, and completely customize the user interface to really give you the best results you need while working within your PDF files. We also have something called a tool chest, which is an innovative feature which will allow you to create and custom store all of the tools, markups, stamps, signatures, things that you use on a daily basis so that you can retrieve them and apply them with just one click. Next, we have a very, very concise markup tracking capabilities, and this is really where you have the ability to not only view and see every single comment and markup that's being placed on the documents, but also then filter, sort them out, and summarize them to a number of different formats to give you your best downstream workflow. And then lastly, when we talk about things like collaboration, it's a very key word nowadays. We have a software or a feature built right into Bluebeam called Studio, which is going to enable you real-time collaboration to enable you and multiple users to actually view these PDF files simultaneously and again get that same great level of reporting capability. So We have a couple of different flavors of Bluebeam. We have our standard edition, CAD, and Extreme. Everything I'm showing you right now is going to be available in the standard edition right through to CAD and Extreme as well. So everything you see will be available in the standard edition here. Again, let's quickly run through what we're going to show in this agenda. We're going to go through the interface, show you the markups, get into PDF creation and document editing. We want to show you how you can really take some of your existing paper-based workflows into a very electronic and concise workflow using PDF file and Bluebeam. So we'll show you things like how to easily combine and create PDF files, some quite unique things, insert new pages, use templated technology that you might already have, and do some AEC workflows. So if you're within the architectural, engineer, or construction workflow here, things like RFIs or change orders or punch and backcheck process. And then I'd love to get into showing you some of the fun, more advanced features that we can do, things like the automated comparison of documents, and show how you can do accurate takeoff and measurement right from a PDF file. So that being said, let's jump into it. I've actually been showing you these slides in Bluebeam. I've been showing you this in presentation mode. I'm going to escape out of that and take you into the interface that is in front of us. And this really is Bluebeam. This is the interface that we have available for us. There's a series of buttons and icons. We understand that people are very driven in different formats, whether you are an icon, a menu, or a mouse-driven user. We have a way to help through all of those. So I have a series of different menus which I can see. I have access, as you can see earlier, we were talking about tab navigation. So here I have a number of different PDF files open at once, and I can actually open as many as I need to. If they happen to be so many, I could walk myself off the screen. I can use this pull down to go and grab the specific file that I was looking for. As I continue to walk my way around the interface, you'll see that we have, again, all these menus up here. Bluebeam is a very context-driven or right-click-driven application. By right-clicking or hovering over icons or tools or menus, you get to see a lot of different information. So I can right anywhere in this gray area and see any of these menus that I maybe do or don't want to see. I can also come down here and possibly completely customize a menu to make up the exact or precise menu that I want to see and only have that menu available for me. I have my markup tools very readily, easily available for me down this right-hand side, everything from text boxes to clouding to annotations and call-outs and even inserting images. And then as I walk my way around the bottom of the screen, I've got some very nice permanently displayed information here. Right, I can a single document, 24 by 36 inches in size. If I have to jump to a multiple-page drawing, here I can on a 2-page drawing and 8 by 11.
James,
as I continue to walk around my screen. Yeah.
There's a little static on the on your end. I don't know if there's something.
Is that any better?
Yeah, it's a little better.
A little better?
Yeah.
All right,
Okay,
let's
cool.
keep trying like this, and if it gets worse, definitely feel free to interject, and we'll switch over the microphone and speakers and see if that gets any better.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sorry I didn't mean to interrupt there, but
No,
just
hey,
making
I
sure.
appreciate it.
Okay.
Thanks so much. Okay, let's jump back in and talk about one of those unique features we were talking about, which is the ability to split my screens. So here, let's say I'm working on this PDF file. This, again, is a 24, 36-inch full-size drawing. I have the ability, using these buttons down here, to split the screen and actually split the screen up to 16 different times. So I'm going to split it once horizontally and then again vertically, just to show you and bring up 3 separate windows. Now, Bluebeam has given me the ability to synchronize all of these windows using this orange button down here. Well, this button is highlighted in orange now. And using a very nice, simple navigation by using my middle mouse wheel, I'm going to scroll into this left-hand drawing here and scroll to maybe this entrance area. And hopefully what you're seeing now is, in real time, all of those other corresponding windows will zoom into the exact same location. So if you can imagine, I had maybe 3 revisions of this drawing open, Rev A, Rev B, and Rev C. I now have a very nice, easy way to sort of navigate my way through. Again, using that intuitive, easy interface, I'm going to simply left-click on my mouse and drag over to the right-hand side. Maybe look at this right-hand egress here. And again, those other windows will now jump to the same location to show me them. So from a plan check or a plan review process, this is great. I don't have to jump from window to window. I'm now reviewing the same drawing in multiple different panels. Now let's say I wanted to unsynchronize these windows. I want to work them independently. So here I am looking back at this egress, and in my right upper window I'm looking at my right egress, and over on the left-hand side or the bottom window I'm looking at the left egress. So I'm looking at three completely separate components of this drawing, but all in the same time. Now let's say I wanted to actually look at some different information. I'm going to drag my lighting spec. So this is another PDF file. So I'm going to drag it into this right-hand window and make it be my scrolling pages view. And then in the bottom right-hand window, I'm going to do something else which is quite unique. I'm actually going to invoke a web tab. Again, being context or right-click driven, I'm going to come down here and right-click and say New Web Tab. So now I have Google. I have the Internet open. So let's say I am maybe referring or researching these 5-inch ceiling cats. I think I got these from Cooper. So let's go to Cooper Lighting. And we'll go down here and go to Cooper Lighting. And then we have Halo, so we have the specific brand. And maybe I want to search for the H5i cat, see if they have any in here in stock. Maybe I want to see if this specification is the same as the latest one. And lo and behold, I've got some nice search results here. And I could even open up the PDF file or go to the web page, whatever it is I wanted to do. The point being, I haven't had to leave this application. I'm now reviewing a drawing, looking at an existing product spec, and actually going out to the Internet to verify that the latest spec or the latest product information that I need is actually there. I could link to that or grab that information. I could grab the hyperlink here, paste it back into my original drawing, again furthering my electronic workflow and having that information readily available for me. Now I can unsplit these screens by simply Xing out of them or using the unsplit button we have over on the left-hand side here and get back to my original floor plan. Now walking our way around the interface again, we're going to talk about some other information. We have hidden panels here on the right and left-hand side that contain additional information. So I'll open the left-hand one and show you something which I think would be very, very pertinent for our electronic workflow and easing that efficient workflow is what we call our file access panel. And this is sort of like putting Windows Explorer or a little document management right within Bluebeam here. If I want to look at some of my previously opened PDF files, I can simply browse over them, get a nice big preview, and if I want to, I can click on them and open them back up again right from the same source location. Or I could actually come in here and create a category or pin them. Maybe this is a project that I'm going to continually work with these same files. So I'm going to right-click on that, go to pin, and I'll create a new category in this case. And I'll call this one, let's say this is my project 123. So now what Bluebeam has done is created a subcategory here called project 123 and actually placed a placeholder of that PDF file right in that location. So again, I might have other files that were pertinent to this project that I'm working on. I can simply right-click on those and pin them to the same project. And again, build up a very nice, quick library of all these files that are particularly relevant or pertinent to the project I'm working on. Have them readily available for me. This could be locally, could be on the hard drive, could be across the Internet, could even be up in a document management system. We have complete plug-in integration into Microsoft SharePoint and Bentley ProjectWise. Other tabs that we have available here, things like our thumbnails. This is a very common feature within a PDF application. Gives me the ability to readily see the amount of pages that are within this document, single page, and again, multiple page. This is a great place to actually come in and start manipulating the document, and we'll show you that in a little bit. The last tab that I have up here available is my tool chest tab, and this again is that unique feature that I'd like to go over as we start to place some comments on these PDF files, and I'll show you how we can utilize that. Now, as you've seen, we have the ability to sort of uniquely set up how Bluebeam looks, and this is actually tied back to something down here called a profile. And those of you that are familiar with CAD-type applications, you'll know that profiles are a way in which you can store a state in which the interface looks. So I can have some ones that are pre-canned from Bluebeam. We supply the product with some profiles that would actually act and manipulate the interface into a way that we think would be very conducive to the way you want to use things. Or I could come in here and completely create a brand new profile, name it whatever I want to. And the nice thing about creating your own profile is I could grab that profile I was using and export it up to the network, or maybe send it on to somebody, a coworker, a colleague, or another office. That way I can ensure consistency and make sure everybody is working in the exact same look and feel environment that I want them to. So We have other panels. I'll show you that on the right-hand side we have a panel that has additional information. We have our measurement capabilities. We have full searching capabilities. And we have Studio, so we'll definitely be showing you that. And down below is our markup tracking list, but I'm not going to show you that until we actually start putting some information on this PDF file. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's say I am reviewing this drawing, and I'm going to come in here now and actually start to place some comments on here. I'm going to simply zoom into an area. Maybe I want to highlight this area here, this conference room. And I'm just going to place a leader line on here or call-out tool to say, is this too small? Now, it's very easy, as you've seen, for me to actually grab some of those call-out tools or these markup tools and place them on there. It's even easier for me to change those attributes. You might be very familiar with using Microsoft products, Word, Excel, etc., things like that. Well, why should you have to double right-click and go into submenus and everything if you just simply want to change the font? I want to actually make this font blue. Maybe I want to make it slightly bigger. Maybe I want to make it opaque so I can actually see the underlying content through the actual image itself. Same with this callout tool or this clouding tool here. If I actually want to make this a very nice yellow color to draw attention to it, I can go ahead and do so. Very quick and very easy for me to do that. Obviously, we have some very standard tools, typewriter tools, text box tools, even highlighter tools that would enable me to draw attention to areas that I want to. I can come in here and insert images. If I happen to have a wall issue in an area that I took, I was out in the field and I took a quick picture using a digital camera, and maybe I'll grab this and indicate very quickly and easily where that wall issue was. I'm doing this all electronically now. Hopefully some of you that have been watching this tool chest might have noticed that I've actually started to populate now my recent tools. It's starting to remember everything that I placed on this PDF file. So if I wanted to actually look at a different room, maybe we're talking about this Tell Data room, and this is quite a large building, so maybe I want to say the exact same thing. Is this too small? I want to actually verify. Using my tool chest, I can just go grab it and place it back on the drawing. Now, I grabbed it out of recent tools, but I could very easily, like the profile, create my own tool chest. I can do so with this little icon up here. I'll manage the tool chest. I'll go ahead and hit Add, and we'll add one here that we'll call, let's call this one Novedge, and I'll hit OK. So now it'll add a new profile, new tool chest for me, and I can now take that same tool I used earlier and I can add it to that tool chest. I can either simply, very simply drag it, or if it happens to be on the drawing, I can right-click on it and add it to my tool chest. We'll add that to Novedge. Now, as you saw, I brought that out in its exact sort of carbon copy of the way I used it earlier. Is this too small? However, I can bring it in what's called properties mode. So I might want to double-click on that and ask a separate question. I'm going to look at this area here and say, IT will spec the AV in this area. So I've actually utilized the same features, the same font style, the same font set, the same font color, and I've actually used it in a more custom way to ask a different question. So the nice thing about this is I have actually started to replicate the way I start to do things very quickly, very easily. I could even give these call-out tools some properties. I could give them a name. So right now, it's simply called a call-out. But I could give it a name of, maybe this is IT. I'm going to keep it as simple as that. So now this will actually give it a subject of IT. And the reason I'd want to do that is it will actually group them down below in the markup list. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at that markup list. Before I leave the tool chest, though, again, much like that profile, I could take that new tool chest that I've just created and export it up to the network, or I could pass it on to coworkers, other offices, and again, ensure that everybody starts to comment and collaborate in the exact same way. Now let's look at that markup list down below. And as you can see now, it's actually started to populate with some information. So not only have I visually got the comments and annotations and markups on the drawing up top visually available for me, I've actually got this, this markup list down below, which is now displaying a lot of different information for me. Think of this, as you will, as a sort of form of Excel. This is a series of columns and that I can turn on and off. Again, with Bluebeam, you have the ability to turn these on and off. They are some pre-canned columns here. Part of the PDF specification, PDF is now actually an independently, an ISO standard format. So, which is very nice for us in the AEC industry, and in fact everywhere when dealing with PDFs, because it now means that anytime you deal with a PDF, there are certain criteria that have to be there. So things like the ability to view all these comments and annotations and view certain information, whether you're looking at a comment list or a markup list, you can still always see things like the subject or the author or the date and any comments. So I can turn on these columns and look at these predefined ones that we have here in Bluebeam and see if there's some that I want to see. Or I can, again, come here and actually create or manage my own columns. So maybe I want to turn off label. I'm not bothered about seeing label. I'll turn that one off. And maybe I want a custom column in here, which is actually going to be my responsibility. Maybe I want to assign that. So I'm going to hit responsibility, type that in there. And I have the option to put different types of columns in there. And I want this one to be a choice column, because I want to actually pre-populate the available choices that I give people. So maybe for this responsibility, I'm going to add myself in there because I'm a very generous person. Vince, because you picked on me about my noise volume, I'm going to add you there as well. And let's add a couple others. We'll add Christine in there. And we'll hit OK. So now what I can do is I can look at some of these comments that were in here. Is the room too small? Or IT will spec this. Well, I happen to know. I'm going to double-click on responsibility. And I happen to know that Vince is in IT, so I'm going to assign this to Vince for responsibility. So I've got some great accountability down here. It's telling me who did things, when they did them, what they did, and which is great. This is great workflow. Now let's say, again, let's put this into more of a practical AEC workflow. Let's say I'm speccing this drawing out, or I'm reviewing this drawing, and I want to send this out to various different people. I have my engineer, I have my building owner, I have a structural guy. I want them all to review this drawing and bring me back their comments. So I email them the drawing, I'll tell them where it is on the network. They mark it up using either the tool chest that I've given them, or they use their own tools. And then they send me back the PDF files, whether they email them to me or leave them on the network. And I can actually import their comments now. Now, Bluebeam is smart enough to know that I'm going to browse to the network location where I've saved those comments. And again, I'm going to grab my access guy, my principal, my structural engineer. I'm going to hit open. Now what Bluebeam is going to do is import all of those comments into this drawing. Bluebeam is smart enough to know that the background content, the physical PDF file itself, has actually stayed the same. So it's simply brought those comments and annotations into the drawing. So not only can I now visually see, if I zoom out a little bit here, I can see that this drawing is now populated with a whole bunch of additional comments, and I can visually see them. But also my markup list, as you now can see, has actually grown exponentially with a whole bunch of different information here. So this is great, but now I've got a lot of information that I want to review, and maybe right now what I want to do is actually I want to concentrate on my access guy's information. So I can come in here and turn on a filter, which will put a drop-down next to every single column that I have here and give me the ability to filter out or search on those criteria. So by author, I know that R. Thompson's my structural guy, so I'm going to go ahead and just click on him. And now it will either gray out or completely white out, or whatever you choose in our settings. It'll gray out all the extraneous information and just show me all of R. Thompson's comments. So now I could come in here and actually, maybe I'll zoom in a little bit here, and I can now start to click my way through and be taken to each of those comments very quickly, very easily. So here I've got, restroom entrance should be double checked in the field. Let's take a quick look at that. And I might want to come in here and set a status. I might want to come in here and actually say, I'm going to set a status where I review and accept that. So now it will actually say accepted by me on this time and this date. Well, you know what? I just walked away and I just had a quick moment at the water fountain, and I just realized, you know what? That's not true. I don't agree with that at all. So I'm going to come in here, set a status, and I'm going to actually say I'm going to reject that. Now notice Bluebeam has not deleted the original acceptance. We've kept that. We've actually appended it with the new rejected status, because that's what I want. I want complete accountability for every interaction that happens while reviewing these plans, these drawings, these documents, whatever they are. I could come in here, and at this comment here where it says this is 5'6", I could just hit a reply here and say, no, needs to be at least 6 feet. Sorry, 6 feet, not 6 inches. And there again, it will actually show now that somebody here has actually replied. So James Chambers has replied to R. Thompson's comment on this time and this date, and this is exactly what he said. So now I'm done with R. Thompson's. I could go ahead and filter through and look at Jay Gibson's, and it would do the same exact thing, allowing me to filter through all this great information. Now the nice thing about this is once I've done this and I've filtered this all out and I have everything that I need to see, I'm going to turn off filter, because now what I want to do is actually, well, I want to summarize everything that I've just seen, because I've got some great information here, but I want to quickly summarize that. So I'm going to go to Summary, and I have the ability to summarize into a number of different ways. Here I'm going to go straight to Excel, because I basically want to save this on my desktop, and I want to dump all this information into Excel and populate all these fields. So now I have all this information. I can look at the date, the author, the time, see exactly when somebody said something, what they said, and I have that available readily for me. Nice, easy way. Maybe I want to actually create more of a visual correlation. So I'm going to do a PDF summary, which I'm going to choose to append to the original PDF file. This is going to give me a concise report, a PDF paginated report of all the columns that I've chosen to see, all the comments and summary that happens to be on here, and it's going to attach itself to the original document. So here I am now, and I have this nice PDF summary. I'm going to close these screens so I can see this a little better. And if I happen to come in here now, I can see I have 39 some markups on here, and I can zoom my way down through all of these. It's telling me who did something, when they did it, where they did it. I've even got a mini preview. And the beautiful thing about the way that we created this PDF file is I now have complete hyperlink association. So if I want to see where somebody's saying, is this too small, I don't know where, I'm going to click on that and be automatically hyperlinked straight to the exact location to see in context where somebody asked that question. I'm okay with that now. I'm going to hit back and continue down to the report and look at my Access Guys comment. Where was that 9-foot? Oh, there it was. It was in that area there. So again, this is still a PDF file. All this linking, all this hyperlinking capability is readily available. I could now take this, go either through my file menu in email, or post it up to the internet or the network, wherever I want to, FTP, document management. And anybody now that has any kind of PDF viewer will be able to see this document and click on all these hyperlinks and be taken to where I need them to. So let's talk about some other workflows. I'm going to go ahead and close this document. I don't need to save it. I'll go back to my my file access and open back up that PDF file I was just working in. Nice, easy way to generate and jump my way back there. So let's say we're talking about a common workflow. Let's talk about something like our RFI or a change order. So a request for information is a fairly common process within the AEC industries. And maybe somebody is looking for information regarding the lighting within these restrooms or whatever it might be. Well, the first thing I want to do is actually create an RFI page. Now I can right-click in Bluebeam, again being context-driven, and insert a blank page. Now, this sounds very simple, but we're the only people that do that. We don't believe that you need to have a PDF of something. So if you want to have a blank page, go ahead and make a blank page. I happen to have had in my company some templates that were in Word or Excel of various different things. So here I'm going to go, and this might have been an Excel form or a Word form that was a PDF, a Word form of an RFI form, and I simply chose to make it a PDF file. And I'm going to put this in the first page. So here I have an RFI form that was generated. This is now just a PDF file. I'm going to drag it up in front of my layout page because I want it to be the first page. And I could come in here and very quickly fill this out, today's date, 7/20/11. Maybe this is an RFI number 1234, very common RFI form there. Information requested. Maybe I want to spec the lighting in the restroom. Oh. And what I can do now is description. I can come in here and say, please spec the lighting here. And I'm going to put a little arrow here to say click. Because what I might want to do is actually take this information, and I'm going to take this piece of text, and I'm going to right-click. I'm going to take this piece. I'm actually going to make a hyperlink here, and I'm going to hyperlink my way over the top of this. And I want this hyperlink to go to a specific location. I'm going to say, go to a snapshot view. I'm going to go to page 2, and I'm going to control my way around that area and hit OK. Now what I do in this case is I could just send this off down its workflow. I could email this to whoever it is. They will get this, and they'll say, please spec the lighting here. Well, where's here? And I click on that, and I'm instantly taken straight to the restroom area. So now I have a zoomed-in area showing me exactly where that lighting had to be. Well, that's great. Maybe I'm replying to this RFI now. And I might want to respond in here and say, I can either just come in here and say, use Halo model H5i cat, and I could say see page 3. And what I'm going to do now is I happen to have that lighting spec that we had open earlier, so I'll come in here and I'm going to right-click on this first page and go to Copy Pages. And now I'm going to go over to my back to my A21 file, and I'm simply going to right-click and paste that page in there. Now I could do the same thing with that hyperlink earlier. I could come in here and grab a hyperlink and simply drag it over there, and I could even say jump to page 3 and hit OK. I could maybe go to my tool chest, and I'll grab my signature from my tool chest. I'm going to put it in there, make it a little bit smaller, and sign this off. And now I could send this off and archive it and do whatever I need to do. And this is basically a completed RFI at this point. So that's one method of electronic or digital workflow. Other ways are, for those of you within the architectural world or even the construction world, the ability to be able to punch out a project. Now, punching out is a traditional way in which, a very paper-based way in which most people have a legend. They will take a sketch of the area that they want to maybe check to verify that everything has been done, catch any mistakes, any areas that need rework, or bring attention to those areas. And it was a very laborious, paper-based method of doing things. What can happen now is you would typically do these and punch these out, handwrite these symbols, so you get this awfully messy handwriting. You can't determine what's going on. And then at the end of the day, you would have to remember everything and sort of summarize it into a spreadsheet. Now with Bluebeam, we can actually do that electronically. So if I go and I have maybe my first plan here, and maybe today what I want to do is punch out one of these rooms here. So again, like we did earlier, I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to insert a blank page. And I'm actually going to jump onto my Punch template because I have already created a profile for Punch. So I'm going to go ahead and jump over to that really quickly. And I'm going to, like I said, right-click, insert a blank page. And I think I have my Punch form here. Yep, there's a Punch template. Hit OK. And now what I might want to do is go back to that room and that plan that I was working in and use what's called a snapshot tool to take a picture of the room that I'm looking at. So here I am. I'm coming in here. I don't have to fold my drawings and clamber around. I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to paste that information in there. Now, I've pasted it 1-to-1 right now because that's the way I did it, but I wanted to maintain the scale maybe originally. Now I don't. Now I'm just going to oversize this, not lose any quality or fidelity whatsoever, and maybe use my typewriter tool to put some information in here. This was project 123. This was room number. It looks like it's room number 42236. Sorry, 4236, et cetera, work that out. Now I could essentially flatten this information, and by flattening it, I'm essentially pushing it into the underlying content. I'm taking those comments and annotations that were floating over the top of the original PDF file, and I'm pushing them down in here. So much like I had created earlier, a quick tool chest, we have a bunch of punch symbols here. But if you see when I hover over each of them, they have a different name. So I'm going to look at my carpentry punch list here and look at this trim base joint not smooth. So maybe in this area here I've got some issues there. Maybe I've got some trim damaged over here. This one says the door latch doesn't work. Well, that's actually happening in the restroom area, and the main door itself over here has that issue too. So here I am very quickly putting these punch symbols onto this drawing and indicating exactly in situ where they are. I don't have to do any guesswork. So again, I could do the same thing if I happen to look now at my markup list down below.
I have a whole bunch of different comments on here. Now I can sort these out because I have carpentry, electrical, things like that. I could click on the subject, and much like in Excel, I can reorganize how they're displayed. So maybe I want to see all of my carpentry, all of my cleaning items, all of my electrical items. I can do the same exact thing now. I could take them and summarize them to CSV or XML if I want to bring them into other systems I have, or make a PDF summary. So what I'd like to do now, since we have a few minutes left, just talk about a few of the other advanced things that we can do. I'm going to change my profile back to CAD, and I'm going to jump back onto that drawing that I had, my A21 drawing. Let's jump on that drawing. Let's say I need to actually work out, I need to do some takeoff and estimation in this thing. I'm going to quickly go to my measurement tool. Now I don't have any scale on this drawing, so what I'm going to do is calibrate. And I'm going to pick 2 known points. And Bluebeam is asking me to pick 2 known points. So I have a named dimension here of 25 feet 2 inches. So let me click where, and if you notice, I'm snapping to the line content on this drawing. And now Bluebeam is very simply saying, you tell me what you want that measurement to be. So I'll say that's 25 feet, and that's 2 inches. And I can do a whole series of different measurements now. So I'll do a length measurement just to verify that that is in fact true and correct, and lo and behold it is. And I can even go and do area measurements, so very easy. If I want to work out the square footage of the carpet or whatever it is, I can now know it's 235 square feet. I can even do some complex shapes, so I'll come in here, and even though this office has a glass wall here by the looks of things, I can go ahead and put that in there, and I will, it hasn't really adhered to the contour of the wall, but I could right-click and say, convert that to an arc. And now I've got these nice spline controls where I can greatly fine-tune the detail. As you see, Bluebeam has recalculated that square footage all the time. These are still just markup tools. If I want to fill those with a certain color, give them a certain name, even give them a hatch pattern, I can go ahead and do so very easily. And again, all that information is captured down below, so I now have my area, my length measurements. I have that information captured down below for me to be able to use however I need to. I'm also going to come in here and look at another common workflow. Let's talk about comparing documents. So under Document menu, I go to Document Compare, and I have the ability to automatically choose 2 files. So let's go to my document comparison. Let's say I have a revision A, and then somebody gave me a revision B. What I can do is browse into them on the network, select both of those files, and then I'm going to say, OK. Bluebeam will overlay the 2 drawings on top of each other and analyze the differences between those 2 drawings. It'll automatically split my screen and synchronize them for me. So now my left-hand drawing has got some clouded areas which are indicating that there's changes. So I'll zoom into one of them down here, and I can see that I actually have a textural difference. This has gone from elevators to elevations. Now the nice thing is I asked Bluebeam to actually cloud those with a markup tool. So the markup list down below has actually populated with all of those differences. So now I could very easily tab my way down through the markup list and be taken from one change to another until I get to the point where, again, I might want to say, hey, I need to create a quick summary and send this back to the originator and have them actually address all these differences. I've gone from a 5-car garage to a 3-car. Well, there's a lot of changes, a lot of costs and bill of materials. I might miss some deadlines. Now, what we've been showing you here is all sort of not a static, but a somewhat fluid workflow. The next step, or the last step in this equation, is I want to now do this on a collaborative, real-time type environment. So I can come into Studio, I can start a new Studio session, which will give me the ability to upload up to as many different files, I believe up to 100 different files. I can give it a session name. I can invite up to 100 different participants. Even if they don't have Bluebeam, they'll be given a trial temporary copy while they're inside your Studio session. I can prohibit what I want people to do. I don't want any of my attendees to print or save anything that I'm giving them. I just want them to be able to mark these drawings up. So what I'm going to do is actually go to one that I've started earlier where I had some of my colleagues actually start to input information into this PDF file. So while this is loading up those drawings from our server, again, what Bluebeam has done is uploaded all those drawings, emailed them out to the participants, and given them the ability in real time to actually come in here and mark up this drawing. So now, even if they didn't have Bluebeam, they were given a copy for free while they were inside your session. And I can come in here now and click my way down this markup list and see every single comment that actually was placed on this drawing. Who did it, when they did it. I can even leave the session and leave it open and let people make their own markups while I'm away. So at the end of a week, 2 weeks, a month, 6 months, whatever it is, I can come back in and see all the comments and annotations. I can also create a report. So I'm going to come in here and create a report. I'll make a PDF package, and I'll hit OK. It's going to ask me where I want to save that. I'll just save it to my desktop. And it will now formulate, much as the markup list has done, all of the comments, all of the annotations, and put together a very nice package for me, which is going to show me this is a PDF package, the name of the PDF file, here's the documents that were used, and here's a report. If I open that PDF report, I can see all of my attendees with a hyperlink email to them. I can see the documents with a hyperlink to them as well. And I can also see a complete paginated report of every time somebody did something, when they did it, where they did it. I can also come in here and click on any of these comments and be hyperlinked back to the original documents to be shown exactly in context where they placed that information. So that's how to actually take things all forward and actually use them in a more automated fashion and do a real-time collaboration using Bluebeam Studio. So I think I'm about up to my time. Vince, I didn't know if we had some time left or if you wanted to start addressing any questions that people might have had.
Yeah, I think we'll jump into some questions here. First one, if changes are made to the toolbars, are those automatically saved to as part of the profile?
If you save things to your toolbars, and if you happen to be in that profile, so if I manipulated this environment, and then all I would need to come down to is click on Save Profile, and it will have saved all of those locations to that latest profile. So yes, you can come down and save those statuses at any time by simply clicking on the down arrow and Save Profile to keep those current states.
Okay. How compatible is it with remote logins and tablets?
That's a great question. Given the workflows that are happening nowadays, especially with what we've just shown you in terms of maybe punch and backcheck and RFI, we're actually a very tablet-friendly driven application. We work very well with a number of different tablets. We have things like tip control. We have pressure sensitivity. So we can even set up the environment and actually have a tablet profile, which will change the environment to maximize the workspace and turn off all some of the extraneous tools to really allow you to walk through with an on-site using a tablet PC to proliferate whatever workflow you're looking for, if it's punch, backcheck, design review, whatever it happens to be. So yes, very good question. We're an extremely tablet-friendly PC application.
Okay, cool. In Studio, is the trial session a one-time thing or available every time someone that doesn't have Bluebeam is invited to the session?
Again, another great question. Yes, Studio is not a one-time thing. If you had a regular session with somebody, so you constantly invited them, when they end the session or leave the session, Bluebeam simply turns into a viewer and a printer on their machine. The next time they join your session, all of the features and functionality are brought back to life, giving them the ability to mark up all of those, all the documents you want them to. So yes, it will stay on their machine as long as they keep Bluebeam on there. Even if they delete Bluebeam, when they get invited to the Studio session, they will follow one of two links. One will say, if you have Bluebeam, click here, and it will take them straight into Studio. The other one will say, if you don't have Bluebeam, click here, and it will simply download the trial onto their machine for them.
Okay, cool. If I made a calibration mistake when doing a takeoff, is there a way to recalibrate and have my takeoffs automatically recalculated?
Absolutely, yes. There's a nice button here that says recalculate. So if I wanted to hard code the scale, I could go ahead and do so. Or if I wanted to come in here and recalibrate, I could go in here, pick those same 2 points, and let's say this was actually now a 30-foot wall. I could go ahead and do that, and then I could hit recalculate, and it would recalculate those initial calculations, length and area measurements on the fly.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know if anyone else wants to jump in and throw another question in, or if there's something you want to go over really quick, James. We have about 5 minutes left.
Okay, great.
Before I start wrapping things up.
we can show a couple of other quick features. We can talk a little bit about the ability to search PDF files. So we have not only, in this case, the ability to search for textual-based words. So if I wanted to type in the word office, etc., I could search for that. I could also search for visual things. So let me come in here and I'll browse. Let me say I'm in this drawing, and I want to visually search for all the different sinks that happen to be in this particular drawing. Maybe I'm going to spec out all of these sinks. So I'll now create a visual search, and I will look at the current document. I have the ability to actually search all of the documents or all the files or folders, but I'll just search this current document for all of those different search results that I might happen to find. So Bluebeam will now go and do that search, perform that visual search on this drawing. So here I'm at about 60–70%. And as you can see, it's now found all of those options. I can start clicking my way through and visually be showing them where they are on the drawing. Now the nice thing is, not only have I just quickly found all the sinks that were in here, well, maybe I want to spec them all. So I'm going to select all of those, and now I'm going to go to my second drop down here and say, I now want to perform some kind of feature or function to these. So let's say I want to actually create a hyperlink, and now I could, again, maybe hyperlink to a manufacturer's website, to a sink manufacturer, or maybe I have a spec sheet that's for the certain sink that I want to spec out for all of these. I could go ahead and link to that. So from a planned project review for maybe estimating or for anything else, to be able to perform a visual search and then apply some kind of action to that search is huge. It gives a great deal of workflow. Other things that we have, let's see, what else can we cover very quickly? We do have, like I said, that complete integration into document management. So if you are working, I'll go up into my edit menu, go down to my preferences, and let's look at file access. So I have the ability here to actually add any number of either SharePoint or Bentley project-wise, and I can even put in my login credentials now, which would enable me to actually access document management systems right from a menu or a toolbar-driven icon right within the PDF application itself, not having to go into each of those separate windows or menus.
Okay, I got a quick question.
Yeah, sure.
We can jump into. Will Bluebeam support 3D PDF files?
That's a great question.
A couple people
Absolutely.
asking. Yeah.
Yep, we have. Let me go up here. We have. Let me grab a. This happens to be an RFI file that somebody had put together. So I'll go ahead and open that up, and I'll go right-click and show my 3D model tree here. So this was an RFI that somebody had put on here. This is a 3D file. They had embedded it within the PDF file. I think what they've done is extracted a U3D file from whatever it happened to be and placed it into a PDF file. So now I have the ability to fully rotate, navigate. I can even change the state if I want to look at this in wireframe or solid or whatever it happened to be. I can go back to the original states. If I had some specific views that were in here, I could go and automatically be taken straight to those elevation views, whatever they happen to be. Or I could cycle through all of the views that I happen to have in here and have that all fully automated. As you see on the left-hand side in the model tree itself, it's actually showing me now all the individual components that happen to be make up this 3D PDF file itself. So if I wanted to, I could turn some of those on or off, be highlighted and shown where they are on the drawing. Maybe just using my mouse, I can just scroll around, zoom in there. Maybe I want to look and highlight other areas. So, yeah, we do have 3D PDF capability.
Okay, cool. And then I think we'll just get to one last question here. Sure. OCR text integration. Will it be able to search and change/alter text strings within the doc?
Oh, that's another great question. Yeah, our Extreme product actually has complete OCR capabilities. So I can come up into Document and use OCR. We actually leverage Abby's OCR technology within the application itself. So you have a very, very concise level of OCR and a very proven OCR engine to do that optical character recognition for you. I do have one question that came in through the panelists. Somebody said, can this plug into CAD as well as Revit? Yeah, we do have a complete plug-in integration into AutoCAD, Revit, and into SolidWorks.
Okay, cool. So I think I'll switch the screen back to mine, and we'll wrap things up here.
All right. Well, thank you very much indeed. I appreciate your time, and thank you everybody who attended.
Yeah, thank you, James. I'm sure everyone out there found it as fascinating as I did. It was really, really a great presentation. So again, thank you, James. Thank you, everyone out there who attended this presentation, Novedge's Best of the Best webinar series. If you're unfamiliar with us at Novedge, just a little background. We're the leading online design software superstore. Not only do we have the best prices around, but our staff is awesome. You guys all experienced Bob. You know, you can vouch. He's a great guy. You can call, chat with us anytime. We'd love to hear from you. We have Bluebeam available, and we really do have the best price around. I mean, as you see, it's already marked down from what it normally is priced at. So, I mean, great way to get Bluebeam in case you're interested. Another bit of information I'd like to draw your guys' attention to. Here at Novedge, we love to go above and beyond for the design community. In doing so, we've created communities to foster the collaboration and communication between design professionals. One such community, WikiCAD, you can see here on your screen. I think it would be interesting to all of you. If you're not already a member, it's free. It's easy to sign up. When you do, you gain instant access to all the latest trends, news, videos, tutorials, all things CAD, basically. This webinar will be made available on there for free, as well as on our website at novedge.com/webinar series. I know there are a couple of you who are asking about it. Yeah, so it will be made available either by the end of the day or early morning tomorrow for you to view as often as you'd like. So I think having said all that, James, is there anything else you wanted to add really quick before we sign off here?
No, just thanking everybody for their time and attendance, and appreciate you being here, and thank you guys for allowing me the opportunity to present here. Great partnership with Novedge.
Yeah, cool. Thank you, James. Again, my email's up there, Vince at Novedge, and Bob, our Bluebeam representative, Bob at Novedge. Both of us would love to hear from you. Maybe if you had a question that wasn't answered during the Q&A, feel free to let us know. Until then, we'll see you guys next time.